Okay, good morning everyone. Welcome to Wolfpack. I know this has been out a couple of years now on beta. Can be purchased through Steam. I've only just picked it up a couple of days ago, by no means an expert. I just thought I'd show it off to a few people because I think it's quite cool. It's a multiplayer sub-sim. I'm sure you're aware of it. There's a lot of features that aren't quite apparent initially until you start it. For instance, you can play it single player, and you can have bots playing the parts that players would play, so you don't have to do everything. Before I purchased it, I thought, I was a bit daunted by it, because I thought, well, I'm going to have to do everything within the submarine, but you don't have to. So let's set up. You have to set up a lobby first. So click play and then click new lobby. You can choose everyone, no one, or friends. Just doesn't matter really, to be honest. What I don't want it to be is open to everyone, because I have no idea who'd jump in, and that's not the purpose of this today. So you can do skirmish, you can do workshop, and workshop is a facility where you can create your own mission. You can have a short, medium, or long pursuit time. This game can literally go on for hours if you want it to, or it can be as simple as half an hour, three-quarters of an hour, whatever you want to do. So I've enabled bots, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to, you can also browse the workshop, and you can download pre-defined missions, and you can create one. So if you go to there, you can download some of these games and some of these missions. Let's go back to I'm a bit lost. What have I done now? I don't want to do that. Let's go back to settings. Actually, why is nothing appearing? Odd. Anyway, we'll come back to that another time. Again, this isn't the purpose of this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on, in fact, skirmish, no. Okay. There is a list of things you can change within the... Oh, create mission, sorry, right, okay, so you go to the workshop, you can create a mission there, create it, put a title, put some details in, and then you scroll down and select all the different options. Random convoy course, speed, distance, you can put what ships you want in there. Now, one thing I've found, you've got to be careful with your scroll button on your mouse. If you press the center button on your mouse, the scroll for me goes mental until I literally click the center button, and then I can scroll. And it's the same with the see, it's done it again. So that's something that's a bit weird. I really have no idea why it does it. It's obviously some sort of a bug or something wrong with my peripherals, which I don't think it is. Anyway, let's go back to, let's close that, go to tutorial. I just want to show you this because it allows you to see the game, and a lot of things are controlled. You'll see the convoy ships, there's 3 around you, and it just helps to understand the mechanics of the game. So we'll go to tutorial and we'll start. I've put bots on, okay. Bosh, there we go. Okay, what we have to do is join the crew. There's me as the captain. Torpedoes are set. Let's go. Welcome to the North Sea. Right, let's have a look at this. Now, here's the sub. If you've never seen this game before, there's trim for your ballast if you need to use that. Then you walk around with the WASD type setup on your keyboard. You can override the bots. These are our bot dudes. You walk towards them, they step out of the way, which is quite cool. He stepped out of the way. This is the dive controls. You basically you move the dive planes, and you affect the ballast, which is the air or water in the ballast tanks. Obviously, if you put water in the ballast tanks and take the air out, you'll sink. If you put air in and the water out, you float. This is how you move the ship. So there's two engines, starboard and port. You can activate the electric engines or the diesel. Diesels are more powerful, obviously, and the electric, if you put them on, go underwater, which is what you've got to do. You've got to watch your electricity levels, which is here. At the moment there's 9 kiloamps, and every time you go underwater it starts reducing. One of the problems I had was, how do I charge them? Well, you come onto these panels here. So if I go into here, I'll show you these controls. So what you need to do in order to charge the engines, and this is quite important because I had no idea and there's nothing actually explains this. So you pop your diesel engines on, or you can use just one if you want. Pop your diesel engines on. What you can then do, not that it's going to make much difference because it's fully charged, but if you switch then to charge batteries, and we'll set charge batteries on both engines, what happens is what you'll see is the engines will charge the electric. Being that we're fully charged, so we're running at 3 knots there, charging. So obviously it alters your ability to move. In fact, I'm pretty sure when you're on full charge, you essentially stop. But anyway, let's switch to great speed. We're on diesel engines already, so we'll go to great speed. That will then increase our speed to, I think it's about 17 or 18 knots. Okay, anyway, you can see that happening. What I'm going to do is I'm going to literally stop us at the moment, put it on stop, because what we're going to do is we are going to look what's around us. So this is one. You have 2 periscopes. In order to use this periscope, there's an arm there that you switch, and it comes up, and you can have a look. Now I'm going to have a quick look, see where everything is. So we got one there, it's 50 degrees ish. Got one there at 140, 145, and we should have one there at 310. So essentially they're all round us. The best way to view that is to go to our navigation chart, which is here. Obviously he'll step out of the way if we ask him to, or you can press M, which is the map. Now you can't see anything. This is the way the game is, and when you go in you have to plot them, work out their distance, work out their speed, which is fine. But on tutorial mode, you click show solution, you will be able to see them. A couple of things are about this. So it took me a couple of days to work out why I couldn't see the. Cause you would expect to be able to see your torpedoes firing and moving like you would in UBOAT or the other sub sims. However, when you fire, if I fired now, I would not be able to see the torpedo. But I found that if I click the show solutions off and then back on again, it will then plot, and you will see it moving, and you'll see it moving towards wherever you fired it. Now if you fire 2, if you fire 1, click that, click it back on, you'll see the 1, you won't see the second, so you have to click it off and on again. So it's an update issue around the map, but that's fine because I've worked it out now. So in order to work out how to utilize this in a training mode, that's what you need to do. Okay, so what do we have here? We have The good thing about this is it tells you what the ship is, so you don't need to necessarily identify it in the manual, although you need to understand its length and some other bits and pieces. So what we have is let's just plot a few lines. So we've got one. No, I don't want that. Okay, so we'll turn on the time mode, click it twice. That will allow you then to do a couple of things which I'll show you. Turn on the angles and all that stuff. Right, let's get rid of that with the eraser. Don't want that. Right, another line. So let's put this line through that ship. In fact, I'll tell you why. I'll explain. Right, so what I want to do in the training mode, I want to show where it's going, each ship, and I want to show how long it's going to take. So we'll work on about 30 minutes. This is moving at 2.5 knots. If you look at this bar here, let's put it onto 3 knots. And then when we draw a line, it will tell us how long it takes. So that's about 30 minutes at 3 knots. That's a maximum distance it will travel. And that route. Okay? We'll do the same here. So this one's travelling at 3 knots. Okay, we've already set for 3 knots. So let's move that to there. So it tells us its bearing, it tells us its distance, and after about 30 minutes it will get to about there. Ooh. And you have to click your left button. Hang on. Click. Okay, and this one is moving at 7.4 knots. Unfortunately, it goes up per knot, so we'll have to go to 7. No, we'll go to 8 because that's the maximum it will go then. And let's move it to there. This is only in training mode though. You can't do this in the full game. You've got to do it all manually, which is fine, just means a bit more work. Okay, so what we can see there is we can see where each one is going to go moving to. So these two, right, so this one's moving away from us. This one, which is the quickest, that's the quickest. And it's moving furthest away. So let's go for that one first. Then we have a chance of picking up these, although they are in opposite directions. But let's just give it a go. So what I want to do is I want to move parallel course. We're about 2.5 kilometers away. So, in fact, let's just change that. We are going at 18 knots. So let's see how far we go at 18 knots in half an hour. It's going to be a long way. Okay, that distance. So what we don't want to do is go at that speed. So we're going to change our speed. We want to go at 261. So let's get off the map. Let's press number 1. This then is controlling the bot that operates the engines. So we want to go at, I've forgotten what it is now, 261. So let's go to 261. We've told him to move 261. Come on. Oh, we stopped, aren't we? Right, let's go at slow speed. Because we're roughly level with them already. So we will now turn 261. We're turning there at 261, which is there. Slow speed, and we'll see what speed that goes to. We want about 8 knots. So okay, so we don't need to be down here with these guys. We can go up to the next level in the tower. And this is the attack periscope, the AP. Downstairs is the observation periscope, and the reason why I say that is OP is this. So this is the torpedo computer. You need to put a few settings in here, so you need to put how the distance, the bearing of the target ship, the length of the target ship, and what you want to use to feed information into this. What we're going to do, because we're up here with the attack periscope, we'll turn the angle tracker from off to attack periscope. we can have the observation periscope if you want. What it does is it sets itself up to where it's looking. At the moment it's looking north. So, and you'll see it change. So we've got to raise it with W. Oh, hang on. Right, we need to put that one down. The problem with that is we've got to go down to do that. So let's quickly just turn that, push that down, because we don't need that. Two people can operate these things if you want them to. Okay, let's get back to this. So, attack periscope. So if we go to attack periscope, let's turn it to if we press M, we want that one's bearings about 180, isn't it? So we need to you've got two bearings on here. Okay, sorry, I had a phone call. Right, so if you're still watching this, thanks for staying with me. Right, we are well, that should be roughly 280 degrees. So we have two, that's 180, that's behind us. Yep. We have two bearings. So we have a top bearing, which is where we're looking at. Bottom one is our, that's relative. The top one is relative to ourselves. Obviously the front of the boat is going to be 0, so it's relative to our ship. So relative, it's 290. At the bottom there, that's where the ship actually is on the compass, so it's 190 degrees. If we look, that's 190 degrees. So obviously south due south is 180, that's 190. So 290 degrees, that's where we're looking. And we should be staying relatively parallel. Let's have a look at the speed that we're doing. We're doing 4 knots, so actually they're going quicker than us, so we need to let's put one of our engines on half speed. That will then increase our speed. Hopefully we won't start turning too much. But we have asked our driver to keep us on that bearing, so we're increasing now to, let's see how quick that is. Anyway, we should in theory in a minute start working parallel. So what this gives us is our ship type, which we'll have a look at in a second. It gives us our angle on bow. What that means is the ship here, you can see there, so the angle on their bow to where we are, it's 114 degrees green. If you look on there, that ship is going away from us, and their angle on bow is from there around to look at us. If you imagine they've got a periscope, they are looking at us, they have to look 172 degrees. Same with them, if they have to look at us, it's 115 degrees, but that's red, that's green. So if we look now at the targeting computer on our torpedo, this is where the red and green comes in. So the angle on bow has already been inputted because we are using the attack periscope. 115, but it's not quite right, so we need to change it to 115. And once we've set it, it will continue. So you've got 5 there on green, 115. So it will now keep that and change it if needed. We will see that over time. Right, the bearing is what its bearing is, again from the attack periscope. So if we look here, if we change that, let's change that to there. In fact, let's point it directly north and see what the setting is. So if we go to there, now it's changed to 0. Okay, so if we want to change it and look back at the target, Let's set that there. Click out of it, right click, turn around. It will now show the bearing. It's there. It's relative to us. So we're going that way. We're looking left. And the angle on bow will have changed. Let's see if that's correct. 116 it should say. So this is where we've got to keep it in. So it's changed. So it's because we've been messing with it. So 15, 116. See, it's 116 now. It's green. 6 there. 116. Okay, what we need to do is look at the it's a light merchant type 4. So you press C. This will allow us to have a look at there. So recognition manual. Press escape to come out of that. Light merchant type 4. Press M to come out of that. Press C. Light merchant type 4. Light. Ooh, there we go again. The scroll wheel. Light merchant type 4. Okay. What we need from here is the length. So let's go in here. Let's change the length to 75. Oh, what am I doing? 75. If I can find it. 75. As I say, I'm not an expert. I've only just started playing this game. I was just trying to work out how to play it. Right. Fortunately, at the moment, it's telling us the speed. We can work that out with the hectare. Is it hectoradians? Hectometers? Anyway, that's off the attack periscope. The little hash marks. So 7.4 knots. So let's enter 7.4 knots. 7.4-ish, about there. That's 8. It's half. So we're about there. Okay. We've got the bearing. We've got the angle on bow. These are the torpedoes. It shows these. It shows that they're all on and heated up. Now, once you fire one, these will show as empty. You just grab and drag it across. It will then refill, reload. So we want the single shot. We don't want salvo. I think we're all set. So what we now need to do is work out how to fire. So zoom in. Now we are moving. So we are 3 kilometers away. We want to set the depth of the torpedo to about 1-2, something like that. The bigger ships you can put it down to 4, makes more damage apparently. The range, that's set to 3. That's all we can do, because that's where we are. Now, if you have a look at that little thing there, that shows you, indicates where your attack periscope is looking at. So if we turn it to there, if we go back, oh, not that. If we look at that, look, it's turned, yeah. So what we want to do is work out where that ship's going to be. So to go 3 kilometers, no, that's not going to work, is it? That's going to fire, and it's going to end up going there, which is probably going to miss. Now there's going to be lots of trigonometry type stuff that you can do here, but I'm just literally going to do it from eye. So it's going at 7.4. So let's get rid of that actually. Let's try and work this out. So the front of the ship there. To go 3 kilometers, it's probably going to take about 2.5 minutes. So we're going to run this timer to about a minute. I'm going to see what the distance is in a minute. And I'm going to sort of work that out roughly to where the torpedo is going to need to be shot at. This is going to be interesting. Okay, another 10 seconds or so. Oh, there you go. Okay, sort of missed it. I was looking at something. Okay, so let's look at what distance that is. That is 241 meters in a minute, so it's going to be about half a kilometer for 2. 750, about 2.5. It's all rough guesswork because obviously there's probably going to be a way of working it out. Right, so we're going to mark it at, we want to find out, so let's click here and run a line from there to 750. Jesus, right, ish. Right, so we need to we're going to have to fire it to 11. 210. 50 meters. Right, let's have a look. Try and work it out. So we need, each one of these is 10 milliradians, so so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, and so 10, 5. Holy cow. Do you know what? I'm going to try and fire it there. Don't think it's going to work, but we'll give it a go. What the hell? Don't need that. We need this. Right, so we can put the attack periscope on. This is going to be absolute. Right, so we can set that. We can set it just 1 and fire. Now that is going to fire. And we'll see if we go back to the thing. I think it's going to miss, easily miss, but anyway, we can't see the torpedo, but if we click off and on, there it is, it appears. So I can tell straight away it's going to miss. It needs to be firing this way, so I'm going to adjust it now. We need to be firing really annoying, it keeps snapping to everything. We need to be firing. I'm sure there's something not quite right with this. Right, we're going to put on 2. And we're going to fire 1 there as a bit of a spread. We can't speed it up or anything, but anyway, let's have a look, see if we can project it forward. So That's got a chance that might hit it. Right, number 1 easily missed, number 2 will easily miss, number 3 however might hit. So I haven't quite sat and worked out the exact perfect solution in this game, but that's even if there is one, I don't know. It's a bit of an oddity. You put your attack periscope on at an angle and it doesn't quite seem to translate across. So as far as I can see anyway. Ooh, this looks promising. I keep snapping to the wrong. I don't want it to snap that line, right? This is very close. Let's get off this and look at the attack periscope to see if it explodes. Oof! Hooray! Right. Now, if we press number 3, we'll get to the depth dude. And we can ask him to go underwater, which we will, just to see what happens, which is quite cool. Press right click, you can slide down the... So when we go underwater, the only other thing I wanted to show you really was you can use the hydrophone. The only way of using the hydrophone is when you're underwater, because it's a hydrophone. What the hydrophone will do is you can find all the ships, and he'll tell you where they are, to be fair. But let's have a go. So we'll turn up the hydrophone. So we've got one there, which is what we've attacked. And nothing. You'll pick up your own engines, but then we should pick up the other ships, possibly. Okay, so that allows you to find them at distance. So what we're going to do, we now need to look at, we've already hit that one, so we're not interested anymore. So we can either go for the north one or the one to the east. That one's setting at 2.5 knots, that's 3 knots, that's the quickest. So we are 4.5 away from there, so we turn, let's turn that way, and we'll go I'm only doing about 8 knots. So the good thing about this, you can practice and do lots of things in the practice mode. Helps you get your head around it. So that's going to take about 15 minutes to get up there. So what we're going to want to do is, let's have a look at 18 knots, which is our top speed. It should be a lot quicker. Which, it's 7 or 8 minutes, and we want to go at 326. So let's come off them up. Press 1. Tell him to go 326. And we are going to number 3. We're going to tell him to merge. think the word is submerge and merge. Anyway, we're going to come up to the top. We are going to go back to our engine guy, the driver. We're going to tell him to use diesels and full speed. When we've surfaced, we can't. If you go to diesel and you're underwater, you'll flood the diesels. So okay, we should now be, although it shows us a little bit underwater, its water's just over the keel, so that's fine. So we'll go diesel engine, full speed, and this would be such a cool game when you're multiplayer. Set up your own mission. Okay, now full speed, we will go up to 18 knots there. We've lost a bit of charge because we've been underwater and the electric engines. We can charge the engines in a minute if we want to. In fact, let's do that. So we're now on full speed, but we will now charge battery and charge battery. Let's see what happens with both engines on charge, and we'll see the kiloamps go up to 9 quite quickly. One thing we now need to do is we need to go to the torpedo targeting computer and tell the game to load our torpedoes, which is what we'll do shortly. Let's go up to 9 amps so we're ready for the next battle. Eight and a half. And we still have a little bit of speed. It will drop down, but we'll very quickly go back up to speed again. Now we're on 9 kiloamps already, so in 20-30 seconds we've got a couple of amps back. Okay, kiloamps back. Right, so we'll go back to full speed. He's telling us we're now fully charged. We can now switch to full speed ahead. Flank speed, come on. Bosh, there we go. Bing. Okay. Let's come out of that. Let's go back up to our attack periscope and torpedo computer, targeting computer. Let's go up here. Right, we have 2 empty tubes. These, 3 empty tubes. Blimey. Okay, so pop one in there, pop one in there, pop one in there. Obviously, it'll take a bit of time to load up. So, but we're not currently firing. Okay, so the next target will be at degrees. We can rotate that if we want to. So it's going to be about 40 degrees. Okay. There he is. Now what you'd do is you'd have a look and you'd get up your book and you'd work out what that ship is. Fortunately it tells us at the moment it's a heavy freighter type 44. Bit of cheaty mode, heavy freighter type 4. So we've already identified him, so let's go to heavy freighter type 4. Type 44, where are you? There you are, heavy freighter type 44. 124, so we need to set that into the target computer. 124 length, sorry. 124 length is 124. We need to make sure these are set, so again, you'd work that out, so your angle on bow would be 134. So the idea of that would be you'd draw your line where your ship is, you'd have a couple of points, your bearing, and position them. So, God, this is Okay, let's get rid of them. Let's plop a line there. So you draw a line there, and you'd work out the difference between those two angles would give you the angle on bow. You'd have a line from that ship, your ship, to theirs, and you'd work out the angle there. So as you can see there, 130. If you look, you can use that there to have a protractor there, so you can just move it from 0 degrees all the way around to that angle, and that's 130-ish, might be a couple of degrees off by the look of it, but it says 129, so that's where that line is. Look, on the protractor at the top, so you know it's 129 degrees. Okay, so come out of that, back to here. So it's red, 127 now, so we turn that to 127, and red. Okay, that should already be set. We need to change its speed to 3 knots, so we need to change the speed to 3 knots. Push, push, push. 1, 2, 3. We'll keep it quite low. Got angle and bow right. Where are you? Where have you gone? Right. So we'll keep it on the ship for now, but we're going to again have to work out where it's going to be. So 3 knots, and it's 3 kilometers away. 3 knots. So far about there. So 3 knots. Line. Snapped at the wrong thing. Go away. I think. Okay, that's what. Okay, so there's a toggle snap there. I didn't realise. Okay, so it's 4 minutes. So a fairly good distance away. I'll follow that. Right. That's no good. Straight away, that's no good. And we need to have this up. See, it's just not working. Right then. Well, I don't think it's working anyway. Well, it's never going to get there in time, but I need to add more lead. drifting. So, Christ, it's a lot of lead already. Clearly doing something wrong, but anyway. I'm going to say about there. Stupid I've got to do it this way, but it's 26. I will stress this is a training mission for people who are really new to the game, it's like me, and I'm trying to learn how to do it. I will go into the game itself and work out how to do it properly. I don't know, it's sort of looking okay. It may shoot off past the front of the ship by the look of it. Yeah. So let's try one more. I think it's not gonna hit. Wow, it's way in front, isn't it? Oof. There's got to be a better way of working it out. Just hit and miss, literally. It's going to be way in front, isn't it? Do you know what, half the problem is I'm going too fast. That's why it's going all over the place. Right. Where have you gone? Okay. Well, we're going to go to 51 degrees, a couple of knots we are going to reduce the distance, although we are only 3 kilometers away. I need to make sure that these torpedoes are full, which they're not, so there's 3 there. Bish, bash, bosh. Got 1, and we've got 1 aft torpedo. Okay, so that's set up. Pooling shooting, right, and so we're still turning. So that doesn't indicate where we're looking. We are looking there. We're not looking down there. It's probably not far off, so we need to be looking about there, so right, let's have a laugh and let's see if we can shoot one there. Oh, it's moving again. What the hell? It's never gonna hit. I haven't got any of the torpedoes. It's never gonna hit. Well, that's what that's supposed to say. That's not saying that. Tube 2 is nearly full, nearly loaded. That's looking a bit better. That's possible. The times look about right. I should arrive at that point there roughly at the same time. So we passed that point. Oop. That's gonna hit. Let's watch it do its exploding thing. Lots of features that it could have, and I'm sure it will have this game. This is the beta version, open beta, or rather, it's the beta version of it. Push off right in the centre as well. Oh my life! Look at that. Right, I think it's really cool, and I think it's got great potential to be a cool game on multiplayer. And I know there's a few people play it multiplayer, but not a lot. You can go all the way down. You can have you can even run. This is the rear, the torpedo. This is quite new in the beta version, and I'm sure you'll be able to load torpedoes, but you can't yet, manually that is. And further down, there's the living quarters. There's the galley. There's the rear. These are the electric engines, I think, and these are the, well, that's diesel. This is the electric engines, and these are the torpedo tubes, I think. Yeah. So as you go down to near crush depth, everything starts dripping with water. It's quite good. Anyway, I really quite like it, and it's a shame not more people have got it. So if you think of having it, I'd love to link up with you and play it. Haven't played multiplayer yet, but I will at some point, I'm sure. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.